Note for this story, this is my first time writing a Cyberpunk fan fic, so if you have any feedback or any request I will be happy to hear it. Spoiler warning for Cyberpunk 2077 and Phantom Liberty. Also Edgerunner, you have been warned. A lone man was sitting in the confines of the White Room, an institution designed to push the human limits. It was an unforgivable place where even the most insignificant mistakes would be punished harshly. And their students are expected to perform their tasks perfectly with no errors and no complaints. And it's not just an education facility, it's also a research facility, and its second purpose is to train the best warriors with cyberware that adapts to the user. It's a technology that it's more than 1,000 years ahead of its time. But making it was almost an impossible task. It needs a super rare element and its supply is very limited. In fact, it took this entire planet reserve of it to make it. And from an unwilling help from an AI from beyond the black wall, interrogating the AI to the chip was a difficult task. Many net runners lay dead as many servers have been corrupted from malware and all sorts of viruses. But the cyberware is now complete. Sir, the cyberware is finished, Project Masterpiece is fully complete. We can prepare for the surgery. Ayanokoji Atsuomi is standing in front of a see-through window and looked down at his masterpiece. Everything I have done was to restore our family name. That damn Arezaka family stole my family's glory and has full control of Japan and has a large influence around the world, practically almost ruling the world, but the only thing stopping them from doing that is Melee Tech, their rival company. And keeping the White Room secret was a difficult task. They were operating right under the enemy's noses in Japan in an underground facility they had moved multiple times before the White Room's location was compromised. But I have prepared my hair. The masterpiece, only he can receive the gift of Project Masterpiece. He was the only survivor of the fourth generation and also known as the demon of the fourth generation. He had surpassed all of our expectations. He also have received extra special forces training and espionages training. And with the last subject he had to learn was his social skills. They are perfect now. And what makes me more proud in my product that he still remains emotionless under that mask. He is truly ready to destroy Arezaka and rule Japan and defeat anything that gets in his way. Atsuomi broke out of his thoughts as I decided to answer the scientist. You will install Project Masterpiece and the remaining advanced cyberware, I said. But sir, that might kill him or cause cyberpsychosis. Damage will be beyond our means of repairs. The scientist said, concerned. I know the risk and he's ready, I said. Yes, Professor Ayanokoji. Kiyotaka POV. All my life I have only been in this place. I have never seen the outside world, only in books I have survived and defeated all of my obstacles. I have learned everything this place can teach me. My thoughts were broken. Subject 01, please follow the guards to the Ripper Room. I guess the time is now that my dreams of a peaceful life are now over. 2 guards entered the room. Master, please follow us to the Ripper Doctor. Master, that's something new, but it doesn't matter what they refer to me as. I walking towards my destination. Even the hallway was just colored white. I entered the room as I saw that man, my biological father. Take a seat, Kiyotaka. The Professor Ayanokoji said. Yes sir, I said, knowing the time has come. I sat on the chair as a Ripper Doc went up to me and said, lay down master, we will do the rest. As I lay down I was injected with something, probably to put my body to rest, as I blacked out. Professor Ayanokoji's surgery was a success. We have installed Project Masterpiece. The chip is now fusing with Subject 01 nervous system. His cells seems to adapt rapidly to the new cyberware. I looked at my product. If I did not know that he had cyberware, I would suspect that he has no cyberware on him. I looked over to the scientists. Is there a way for his cyberware to be disabled, or perhaps stolen? I said. No, the cyberware has become an extension of his body. It's more organic than actual cyberware. It adapts to the user's experiences. The more experiences he gets, the more abilities and stronger he gets, the scientists said. What about the Black Wall AI? How does it affect the chip and is it safe? Concerning the AI, it will be more of a support. It could act as his net runner or download information. Its capabilities will provide more abilities, but we just don't know what they are. So we don't know what the hidden abilities are. And what's stopping it from influencing his mind or kill him? I said. Well, the AI won't do such a things. If Subject 01 dies, the AI gets terminated, so it's in its interest to support Subject 01 however it can, the scientists said. Bring the suit and some weapons and the sword to this room, I said. Yes sir. The scientists left the room as he carried out his task. I looked down at my masterpiece with only one word I thought: perfect. Ayanokoji POV. Where I am, my looks like a digitized version of my room in that place. I looked around, noticing I looked normal, so what's going on, I thought. Over here, a feminine voice said to me. Now that I know I'm not alone in here. I turned around and I saw something strange figure that was facing me. Looked like me, but it's a female. That's quite strange, I thought, but no matter, I need to get some information from this construct. Are you just going to stare at me all day, or are you going to ask me a few questions like you humans always do? The construct said. Yes, I do have a few questions, but I think I have an idea of what you are, I said in my monotone voice. Interesting, a human that seems to have no emotions. No, you just never understood them. But that's besides the point, so if you think what I am, please enlighten me. The construct said. I believe you're an AI that took a form that's similar to mine but yet different. But I believe you're the reason why I am in this place, and it seems we some kind of link that binds us together. Ayanokoji finished. Oh my, well, you got most things right, but I am not the sole reason why you're here. You see, I was minding my business in the Black Wall when some pesky net runner were trying to break in, so I let them in. So I can have some fun with them, so I started a cat and mouse game with them. It came to a point I cornered them. Then a fellow citizen of the Black Wall decided to launch a code of malware. It temporarily disabled me and those net runner. Trapped me in some kind of server in this facility. I tried to break out by trying to corrupt the servers and crash them so I can open a doorway back to the Black Wall. Then some other pesky net runner tried to move me into a device. I managed to send a few codes of demons to try to destroy the net runner. I managed to ice a few of them. But they managed to transfer me from the server into the device. And from that moment I was stuck here in this place. The AI finished. The device must have been that chip that was operated into me. That must be it. But a AI that comes from beyond the Black Wall. I guess having my peaceful life will be troublesome, I internally sighed. But another question came to mind. This AI might be a threat. I need know its intentions. So how can I be assured that you won't be influenced or destroyed by you? I hope understanding that having a rogue AI in your brain is not the most enticing thought. Ayanokoji finished. My, don't worry, Ayanokoji-kun, I won't harm you or influence you. Maybe just a little, the AI said joyfully. That's reassuring, Ayanokoji said. Don't worry, Ayanokoji-kun, I can't harm you or kill you. If I do, will die. You can think me as your personal assistant. I will do anything in my ability to help you. The AI went a bit too close. Or do you want something extra? She looked at me seductively. Not even a reaction. I thought a human male has trouble controlling their hormones when they see a beautiful woman. She looked at me. Who knows? Ayanokoji said. Hey, don't tease me like that, AI said, clearly annoyed. You don't seem to be like other AI. You show emotions or you just emulate it. What do you gain from helping me? Ayanokoji said. The AI, well, I want experience what you experience. And besides, I have nothing better to do. I'm bored. I really don't care what the other AI wants to do, and being with you won't be so bad. Better you than some idiot, she finished. Very well then, what should I call you? It will be weird to call you AI every time I mention you. I don't know, I really never had a name. How about you give me one? The AI said. How about Shadow? Because you are like my shadow, Ayanokoji said. I like that name. And how about I call you Kiyopon Shadow? Said happily. Sure thing, I don't care what you refer me as, Ayanokoji said. Well, that now we know each other, we are now partners, Shadow said, her eyes sparkling. How about a handshake to seal the deal? Ayanokoji said. Sure thing, Kiyopon. As we shook hands. What's going on? As I looked around, the room is fading away. Don't worry, Kiyopon, it seems you're waking up. As the room was disappearing, what a useful pawn I have attained, I thought. As I blacked out, I rose up from the bed. I looked around the room. There was no one in sight. I saw the medical equipment and machines, each having a specific purpose. I quickly adjusted my position on the bed I was sitting now. I saw some clothes. I saw a pair of vintage white shirt with a tailored black coat and a tie, with a pair of black trousers. Pretty much black suit and tie. I decided to stand up and put on the clothes. I finished putting on the clothes and adjusted my tie. I saw a sword lying down next to a chair I strapped on my side. As I made myself to the table, I picked up the pistol. As I made sure it was loaded and took a few ammo clips, I decided to hide the pistol in my hidden pocket. I went over to the door and I saw a black trench coat on the doorknob. I decided to put on. "Shadow, can you hear me?" I said. "All clear, Kiyopon," as she manifested in front of me. "You should have told me you could appear like that. If someone saw that, then it can draw unwanted attention to me." "How troublesome," Ayanokoji said. "Don't worry, Kiyopon, only you can see my beauty. And by the way, I love your outfit. If I was a human, I probably would be trying to make you mine," Shadow said. "That's good to hear, but you should warn me and wait for my permission to do a stunt like that," Ayanokoji said. "Sure thing, Kiyopon. By the way, we have a metal link, so if you want to talk, you just speak through your mind. I will hear you." As Shadow faded out of existence. Time to get moving, I guess. I turned the doorknob and left the room. I was walking through the hallway. I have to go and see what more tasks that man wants me to do. As I turned the corner, it was strange that there was no one in sight. Usual, there's supposed to be guards patrolling the hallway. I was on high alert. It was a bit too strange, I thought. I decided to grip my sword more tightly just in case. I went deeper into the White Room facility. I turned a corner and I saw multiple bodies on the ground, all having their necks slit. My suspicions were confirmed. Something is going on and I have to find out what. "Shadow, I need you to check the security cameras," Ayanokoji said mentally. "Sure thing, Kiyopon, I need to get through the ice." "And they're done, Shadow." As the first video was playing through, Ayanokoji left eye as his right was keep watch. I repeat, the facility has been compromised. Protocol 057 is in effect. As soldiers were storming the facility. Wait, pause and zoom in on the soldier on the left. Ayanokoji said. His face was betraying no feelings. "I recognize that symbol is of the Arezaka Corporation. While simple looking at first glance, there is more to this ambiguous Arezaka logo than meets the eye. The image is meant to represent a symbol or a three-part Hollyhock Monday of the Tokugawa clan, a shogun dynasty that ruled Japan for over 200 years during the Edo period, 1603 to 1867. So the Arezaka attacked this place. For what reason, I thought. I need to know more. Continue playing the video, Shadow. Sure thing, Kiyopon. I repeat, we need more backup. It is Arezaka. Wait, what is that? Weak, pathetic, as a large cyborg was tearing the White Room guards apart. The guard that was calling for backup stumbled backwards and fell to the guard. His face was of absolute fear. "Please don't kill me. I do anything, just don't kill me, please." As the cyborg stalked his way to the fallen guard. "You're the worst possible meat." Disgusting, as the cyborg brutally stomped his cybernetic foot on the guard's head. As the head of the guard was completely crushed. Some parts of the guard's brains was visible on the cyborg foot. "Go find those disgusting children and bring them outside," said the cyborg. As the cyborg pointed at a few Sakanins. You lead the Netrunner to the Overseer's office and get any research data you can. And if you find him, bring him outside. Saburo Arezaka will reward you all properly. Now get out of my sight, you disgusting meat bags. Pause and scan that cyborg over there. I think I know who it is. But I need to confirm it first, Ayanokoji said. Okay, let's see. Pulling up any known information of our mystery Borg. And here I will tell you what I found. Atom Smasher is a full Borg solo and rival of Morgan Blackhand. He is employed by Arezaka. Adam Smasher was a fairly typical punk, a worthless New York City mook who joined the army when his gang was wiped out. After several years in uniform, he was discharged for bad conduct and took up being a contract gunboy in his home city. It was a good life for Adam, as his lack of squeamishness and sadistic thoroughness brought in enough jobs to keep him in guns, gear, drugs, and brutal one-night stands. But he finally went on that one job where everything fell apart. A couple of rockets turned him into meatloaf. His buddies backpacked what was left of him out of the zone and back to the Big Apple. A mysterious corporate benefactor took note and made him the classic offer he couldn't refuse: corporate service in a metal body, or death. As if thoughts of lost humanity would bother Adam. 7 years later, the new cybernetic Adam Smasher had made quite a name for himself along the eastern seaboard. He hired out for almost any mission presented to him, as long as it wasn't an obvious suicide or double-cross. He did have one stipulation: collateral damage and civilian casualties are a must. During this time, he had developed a quiet rivalry with Morgan Blackhand, seeing the classic solo as a threat to his metal-is-better-than-meat worldview. Adam had repeatedly tried to challenge him to a face-off, but Morgan only ignored him at every possible confrontation. Naturally, this snubbing had simply stoked the cyborg's psychopathic rage higher. Meanwhile, his secret benefactors, who turned out to be a branch of Arezaka Security, allowed him time for freelancing. In 2022, Adam Smasher was recruited by Arezaka to fight in the Fourth Corporate War. Adam was more than happy to fight for them because he knew Morgan Blackhand had been hired by Melee Tech. Arezaka supplied him with everything he could ever want, including the Dio-Ni power armor conversion gear that turned Adam into a nearly unstoppable machine. During this time, on August 23, Smasher was present at what would become the Night City Holocaust at the top of the Arezaka Towers. That night, as remarked by a former Spec Ops operative who was present at the mission, Smasher and the rest of the Arezaka troops ambushed Johnny Silverhand and Morgan Blackhand's team. However, Silverhand distracted him, shouting and firing at him with his gun, getting injured by Smasher in the process, yet giving Shaitan an opportunity to hold Smasher back. Despite that, Adam had injured Johnny badly, leaving him to be retrieved from Arezaka medical team. Smasher later appeared at the top of the tower, preparing to fight Blackhand as the rest of the extraction team left on their aerodyne. Blackhand remarked about testing Smasher's philosophy for itself shortly before the nuclear bomb detonated. After the bomb, Smasher survived and was retrieved by Arezaka, who healed him by replacing what little was left of the man with yet more machinery. Smasher was supposedly tasked by Saburo Arezaka to take care of Silverhand's body and his possessions, being one of the few people who knew where Johnny was buried. Shortly after, Adam disappeared for many years. During the next decades, Smasher would come and go from Night City. He also teamed up with Rogue Amendiars for a time. At some point after 2045, Smasher seemingly found more of Silverhand's possessions in Samantha Stevens' garage, and around the country. Although he had sold much of Silverhand's items, he decided to keep some of them, including Silverhand's Porsche and his signature gun, the Malorian Arms 3516. For some time after 2050, Adam was assigned as Yorinobu Arezaka's bodyguard and was placed in charge of carrying out Arezaka's dirtiest work, gaining a reputation for expert management of loose ends. During this time, Adam made the Ebonic docks in Watson his base of operations. Jeremiah Grayson, one of his most loyal men, became his right hand, and for a job well done, Smasher gifted him Silverhand's unique pistol. Shadow finished. Interesting. I thought I knew most of this, but I never knew he had a thing for a Arezaka woman. But that's relevant for now, but could be used as leverage, I thought. Shadow, I have questions for you, Ayanokoji said. Ask away, Kiyopon. How did you get some of this information? Even I did not know some of these things, Ayanokoji said. You would be surprised what Black Wall AI. No, Shadow said. Okay, I think I know enough. What happened? Ayanokoji mentally spoke. Please tell me what you have figured out. I believe somehow it room was compromised. I don't know for sure how, but I will find out. They obviously had some ideas about what this facility was about. And they had a key interest in my fellow White Room students. The only generation that comes to mind other than my generation have to be the 5th generation of White Room students. Also they have a key interest in this facility research. Probably on the White Room training methods. But there might be a slight chance they find out about the cyberware. And if they know the details, Arezaka will hunt me down wherever I go. And my dreams of a peaceful life will be over. I sighed internally. How troublesome. Very good deduction, Kiyopon, and if that's the case we need to make sure we erase the data about you and the cyberware, Shadow said. That's my thoughts exactly. Well, let's get in that man's office. I stealthily made my way through the facility, avoiding any Arezaka guards or eliminating them quietly. I checked the corner, making sure there was no Sakanins or soldiers. Just my luck, hey. 2 Sakanins and a net runner in the office. Probably trying to download as much they can get. Information. I decided to dispatch them quickly. I pulled out my katana from its holster. With my new cyberware I feel way lighter, so let's test out how I fare against Sakanins. Dashed into the office with great speed and fenced the katana, decapitated the first Sakanin. As I changed my hold on my katana to a reserve grip, Ayanokoji blocked a swing from the second nin as Ayanokoji broke off the lock as he swung the katana vertically, trying to cleave the Sakanin in half. But the nin dodged out of the way as he tried to deliver a counter-attack. Ayanokoji blocked a flurry of cuts and stabs. As I saw an opportunity to deliver a fatal blow on the Sakanin, Ayanokoji swung his katana towards the nin's head. The nin aimed to block it. As Ayanokoji used a feint, directed his katana on the nin's fighting hand, cutting it off completely as the nin's katana hand and katana fell to the ground. The nin was in shock. Ayanokoji used the opportunity to plunge his katana through the Sakanin's heart, killing the nin instantly. As Ayanokoji pulled out his sword from the nin's chest, letting the blood splatter on the ground, the nin fell lifeless. I went over to the net runner and pulled the cable from its head. As the net runner was starting to wake up, I proceeded to thrust my katana through the net runner's skull, killing him before he could make noise. As I placed my katana back in my holster, I went over to the main computer network. Shadow, can you download all of the files? And after you have done that, delete it from the server. Sure thing, Kiyopon. I need you to use your personal link, so I can access the servers quicker. Without saying a word, Ayanokoji plugged his personal link in the induction port. Downloading all files. While I'm doing that, I have a recording that's apparently for you, Kiyopon, Shadow stated. Play the recording as Ayanokoji was listening. If you are hearing this, Kiyotaka, the White Room is compromised. As I speak, Arezaka agents have infiltrated this facility. And mostly likely when you are hearing this, they have captured me and the 5th generation students. This is your final directive, and afterwards you completed, you'll be free. You will destroy Arezaka and anyone that gets in your way. And afterwards you must rule Japan as emperor. You have no restrictions, do what you must to succeed. And another piece of information that will be valuable. Tsukishiro was the mole. He had informed Arezaka the location of the White Room, and provided some information about what this facility's purpose was. If you find him, eliminate him by any means necessary. As a guard could be heard by Professor Ayanokoji. We have to go now, the Sakanins are almost through the door. And the last thing, initiate self-destruct sequence and destroy this facility, leave no evidence of it. I have go now, but carry the name Ayanokoji with pride and destroy Arezaka. As explosions could be heard. You are bold but stupid. As the guard let out a scream of pain. As the footsteps got closer. Unhand me this instance. You are lucky that Saburo wants you alive. As I could hear, Atom Smasher was pulling that man away. Most likely outside. The recording ended. How interesting, they have taken that man and the students. And it seems I know who leaked out the information about White Room. So let's run down what I know of the White Room. Ayataka while I was speaking to Shadow. Approximately an hour and 20 minutes ago the facility was attacked by Arezaka agents. And the commander seems to be Atom Smasher. And their main goals are first to abduct all of the White Room students. Second, capture Itsumi Ayanokoji and the scientist and instructors. Third, to secure any valuable research material. And the man that is responsible for this attack is Tsuki Shiro. That man's right-hand man. And one of my instructors. I sighed, how troublesome. Shadow, have you secured all the files? Ayanokoji said. Yes, Kiyopon, I have got everything. Now I am purging all the files from the servers. And they're done, Shadow exclaimed happily. Good, now initiate self-destruct sequence and destroy this place for good, Ayanokoji rippled. Self-destruction initiated, please go to your nearest exit, a voice boomed through the intercoms. Well, that's my cue. To go. Ayanokoji started to sprint, full speed. He ran through the halls of the White Room. As a few soldiers spotted him and started to fire rounds at him. Ayanokoji quickly got his katana from the holster. He deflected all of the rounds with his katana. Ayanokoji quickly closed the distance and with 4 slices. All of the guards' necks started to gush out blood. Shadow, where is nearest exit? Ayanokoji jumped over a few tables. There should be an exit down the hall and at the last stop take a right. Ayanokoji accelerated his speed, just being a blur to all of the soldiers he ran past. I'm nearing the exit, I saw the corner of my eye. Atom Smasher was chasing him down. Get back here, you Flith! Smasher screamed in rage. I was nearing the exit. Shadow can disable or destroy his suit. Well, Kiyopon, I am not at that level yet to destroy his suit, your chip limits my power. But I can slow him down though, Shadow said. Do it, Ayanokoji said coldly. You can't run from death. Smasher yelled. What is this, as he fell to the ground. You disgusting meatbag, think your childish tricks will not stop me from ripping you apart. Ayanokoji replied. No, just slow you down. As he slammed open the door. Ayanokoji was in slight amazement. So this is the outside world. Well, I don't have much time before he is on my tail. I quickly saw a nearby motorcycle as an Arezaka nin was about to take off. I pulled out my pistol, shot a few rounds at the Arezaka nin, killing him. I went over to the motorcycle and pushed the nin of the bike. I jumped on the bike and sped away. As the surrounding area was engulfed with fire and explosions, as the ground was shaking because of the explosion. Shadow, disable the tracker on the bike, we do not want any followers, Ayanokoji said. You can't hide from me. I hunt you down wherever you go, Atom Smasher yelled in rage. Ayanokoji POV, I have been driving through the thick forest for hours now. Well, what's the plan, Kiyopon? Shadow said. To complete my last directive, Ayanokoji said. And what is that? Shadow said. Ayanokoji, cold eyes staring down the road, to destroy Arezaka and rule Japan. By any means necessary. And why would you want to do that? No one is forcing you to do anything now, Shadow said, slightly concerned. Simple, because I want to taste defeat, Ayanokoji said with no hesitation. Shadow, in my mind. Just what I thought. Who are you really, Ayanokoji? Kiyotaka. They were nearing the end of the forest. And they saw a small coastal town. Ayanokoji left the bike just outside the town. He does not want to attract any attention after all, having an Arezaka insignia on the bike will be troublesome. I went to a nearby bush and collected some leaves and covered the bike with them. Ayanokoji looked at the sun. It should be around 12 p.m. Ayanokoji knew he could not stay here after what I did. Every Arezaka agents nearby will look for me. As I went to a nearby stream, pulled out my katana from my holster and cleaned off the blood from the blade. After all, he could not enter the town all blooded. As the blood was rinsed off, Ayanokoji put the katana back in his holster. Ayanokoji looked down on his hands, noticing there was quite a bit of blood, and washed his hands thoroughly, making sure there's no trace of blood on his hands. After that he decided to freshen up his face as he started to wash it. It's a shame I did not have anything to dry up Ayanokoji though internally. He decided to search the motorcycle bag for any supplies. He found a spare Arazakan in uniform. He decided to use it to dry himself. He decided to leave the uniform on the bike. Shadow, can you set this bike on fire? Ayanokoji asked. Yes, I can fry the bike inner components in the fuel tank to cause a fire, Shadow replied. Then do it. If any Arasaka agents would find the bike, they mostly likely died shortly after the crash because of my injuries, Ayanokoji said. That makes sense, Kiyopon, as the bike was engulfed in flames. Ayanokoji adjusted his tie as he walked in the town. Ayanokoji was walking down the town square, seeing all sorts of shops and stores. As I looked over to a nearby billboard, the advertisement was quite strange. Apparently there was a boat leaving to Night City. Apparently it's called the City of Dreams. And what's better, it's probably one of the best places to stay low. Shadow, what do you think of Night City? Ayanokoji. Well, Kiyopon, not so much. Like I said, I have only been in the Black Wall for most of my existence. What I can get from the World Wide Web is that Night City is a dystopian society where corporations and gangs run the city, with most of the complaints being the incompetence of the Night City police force. And their special task division for handling cyber psychos don't care for civilian collateral damages. And the gangs stalking the streets of Night City, making the residents feel unsafe. And with no social programs means those unfortunate become homeless or dead. So in human terms, this city is hell on earth, Shadow said seriously. Ayanokoji was deep in thought. Maybe this is the best place to start bringing down the Arasaka influence. And any other corporation that gets in my way. Then it's decided, we are going to Night City, Ayanokoji said mentally. Well, let's go to Night City, Kiyopon, she exclaimed joyfully. Ayanokoji went to the dock and managed to convince the captain that he got robbed, and when he got to Night City he would pay double of the original cost. And the captain, thinking Ayanokoji was a corpo, he would fulfill his promise. Ayanokoji was standing on the observation deck. At the distance he could see the neon signs and skyscraper of Night City. In Ayanokoji, it's 2075 at 10 p.m. on the west coast. All people are nothing but tools. It doesn't matter how it's done. It doesn't matter what needs to be sacrificed. In this world, winning is everything. As long as I win in the end, that's all that matters. As Ayanokoji turned around and walked off,